at the root of a marriage obviously is God.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Amen.
But then what would be like? I know communication is. What would you label the second tier to a successful marriage? Like, would it be communication? Would it like what?
It would definitely be communication.
Mm.
It would definitely be communication because people would say trust and honesty, but I need to be able to communicate that to you, and you need to be able to listen, because people think that communication is strictly being able to properly articulate a thought or an idea, a feeling, an emotion,
Right.
but listening is just as important, right? And what I think it goes hand in hand with what I like to call create impact, right? And what is create impact? Create impact is not only finding understanding and meaning in what you're saying to one another, but understanding who each other is as a person.
Okay.
Like I remember this one time, like very recently, I would say it was probably one of the breakthroughs that me and my wife had, right, in terms of our relationship.
Right.
And she was just like, Quest, I love the way that the stuff that you're doing with marriage. I love the lives that you changing. I love the feedback that we get in. But she was like, yo, don't do it at the expense of my family. I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front, sister. It stung, and I felt that ego rising up. But then I felt the Holy Ghost in the back of my head say, yo, fam, sit down, shut up, and just listen.
Yeah.
And so I did just that. And as I listened to her, I asked her one question. I was just like, yo, is that what I really do? And she was like, yeah. And this is how I feel about it. And I was like, okay. And at the end of the conversation, I was just like, all right, cool, let's fix it. And she was like, how can I help you? Wow. And I was like, because you the organized one, you the structured one, can you come in and help me revamp my calendar so that I could put special time in for the kids? Because she told me, she was just like, yo, you spending so much time in that office, even after the time that you're supposed to cut it off for the day. And not only do they want your time, I want your time, but I can't get it because you in there thinking about what's going right, what's not going right. And yo, I promise you, flesh and blood didn't reveal that because I had never articulated that to her. So after we said that, and she came back and she helped me revamp the calendar, by the way, she did in 15 minutes what it would have took me an hour and a half, probably to 2 hours to do. Wow. What was perceived as a problem is no longer a problem. Why? Because we communicated with one another and we were open to the lemon squeezer. Because see, sometimes if you using yourself as the measuring stick as to what you doing or not doing for your spouse, you're already off kilter. You're already off kilter. If I really want to find out how I'm doing, I got to ask her. Right. You know what I'm saying? To find out. And how do you do that? You do that through communication. Exactly. And not only talking to her, but being able to listen and find understanding and meaning. And at the time, she wasn't talking as my wife. Right. She was talking as my children's mother. And so I had to understand, oh, she's talking as a mother right now. What she's saying to me is I don't want my kids to grow up like we grew up. And yeah, my father worked hard. He had a lovely relationship with my mom, but he never had time for us. So it's the communication that's the next level. Yeah.